Welcome once again to the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm John, and for our final show of 2020, we have another very special episode today. I'm glad you can join us. I hope you can sit back and just enjoy the show with us. Set aside the Christmas fizz, put the kettle on, and just immerse yourself in some exciting Disney waffle. Let's start today by introducing my fellow presenters for the waffle. We've got Ben.
Hi, John.
Hi, Ben. We've got Becca.
Hello.
Hi, Becca. And we've got Lloyd.
Hi, John. Hello, everybody.
Hope you guys are all right and as excited as I am about our special guest today.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's really good that because it's when you're watching this back, you actually begin to see nodding heads, and nodding heads make for great podcasting.
As we all know.
It's for the YouTube. I was watching on YouTube, John.
So sometimes a drum roll does not do it justice. We've got welcome to someone known to many on YouTube as Disney World Freak, to his soccer team as Coach Esteves, and thankfully to us on the Waffle by his more polite Sunday name of Carlos. Welcome to the Waffle, Carlos.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, John, Ben, Becca, Lloyd. It's a pleasure.
That's great to be able to share a waffle with you. And we've got so many questions to ask, especially since you're just home from vacation at Walt Disney World. But before we do, we're going to ask you the questions that have become synonymous with the Great British Mickey Waffle and all of the guests that we've shared a waffle with this year. It's quick fire. So go with your heart and share your thoughts.
That could be
Are
dangerous.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for it?
I am ready.
Question 1. What's your favorite park?
Epcot.
Ride that you hate.
Oh my God, I don't have any. The Lion King show.
Oh.
I don't have one. Take that back.
Come on, go with it. Go with it.
It's out there now. It's out there.
It's out there now.
Forever and eternity.
We might have to come back to that one, Carlos.
I think we're gonna have to.
It like slip in here, you know.
Most overrated snack.
Dole Whip.
Favourite transportation mode in Walt Disney World?
The monorail.
What's your favorite table service restaurant?
Ooh, Cape May Cafe.
A resort you haven't stayed at, but want to more than anything else on Earth.
Beach Club.
Why have I got this question? I hate this question. Favorite car park.
Favorite car park? Well, we drive to every park. So Epcot.
Cool.
Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, or Volcano Bay?
Neither. Never done either one.
Galaxy's Edge or Diagon Alley?
Oh God, Galaxy's Edge.
I knew you were going to say that.
To my defense, I've never been to the other one. I haven't been to Universal in 15 years, but yes, I mean, never even watched a movie. So
Early morning or late night park visit.
both.
So have a break in the middle of the day, so go in the morning, or just carry on all the way
No,
through.
all day. Yeah, all day.
Keep the magic or backstage detail.
Backstage detail.
Favourite other podcast or vlogger about Disney?
Or live streamer, Resort TV one.
Off-site or on-site?
On site.
And the final question is the one that's caused the greatest controversy throughout the whole of 2020 on the Great British Mickey Waffle. You've already half answered the question. So I'm gonna go there because it's just like I know fine well where this is going. So are you a fan of the Nemo show or the Lion King show?
The
You can say neither.
I can't say neither. No, and I'm going to defend myself again. The Nemo show, I have never seen the Lion King show. And if you want to know why, you can ask me that in a little bit. So to my defense, I can't hate something I've never seen.
Oh,
Yeah, makes sense.
okay. We'll go. I'm good with that. That was quite what a nice way of studying some sort of rocky waters to begin with, maybe.
Yeah, because when we did that back in April for the first time, it was an even split between all 8 of us.
It's an even split between the 4 of us, and
Yeah,
Elle.
that's true.
And it's still an even split amongst, I think, all
Pretty
of the
much everyone.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's wonderful. I really enjoy it
it.
because actually, you know, from no matter what anybody says, I think we've said this in a few of our recent podcasts. It doesn't matter which show is your favourite at this current time, given that both shows are dark. We just think so much about the cast members who performed for so many years for us, and really our hearts are with them.
Yes, true.
So I know Ben and Becca have enjoyed being on your Saturday weekend Wakeup show, and as part of the British Invasion midweek Shooting the Breeze show that you have on YouTube, where I've got to admit you've taken upon yourself to promote so many channels from this side of the Atlantic. So many of us in the UK really can't thank you enough for all of your support and your unending subscribing, tweets and liking of so much of the content that's coming from the UK. So really from us, a big thank you, Carlos. And before I do ask you about your holiday trip, see, I'm deliberately keeping everyone in suspense here, aren't I? Where did your own personal Disney journey start? You know, and again, how did that end up where you are now, presenting live on YouTube, and then your part as part of that wider Disney online community? Go on, tell us a bit about you.
Yeah, well, first, just to backtrack a little bit, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to continue interviewing and interacting with all those channels from across the pond, England, Scotland, and I'd like to get even further. I'm sure there's some in France and other countries out there in Europe, maybe even Portugal, where my family's from. But again, it's been a pleasure. My journey with Disney started back in 2002. I had gone through a divorce, and my new girlfriend, who is now my wife, Suzanne, was heading to Disney with family, and asked if I wanted to come along, and I said sure. But I also said, what am I going to go do in Disney? It's for children. I said it. I remember saying it perfectly to her. What are we going to go do? You're going with your family with a few children. What am I going to go do besides get away from the headaches up here and come and spend some time with you? I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Boy, do I know now. So that's where it started. And it was both of our first trip. And we haven't looked back since. We planned our honeymoon was planned for Disney. We've been together by ourselves. We've left the children home to go on a anniversary trip, in which we plan on doing. It's a little deal me and her have made to go every 5 years by ourselves without children. But that's where it started, and to where it leads to YouTube. I don't even know how it led to YouTube. It led to us. All honestly, it led to us looking for fireworks on New Year's Eve. We were home. We haven't been out for New Year's in a long time. We were home with the children. I said, let's find something to watch besides the regular New York City shows, live from New York City. So we went on YouTube, started looking for something, and we came across, which is now over 100,000 subscriber channel, Resort TV 1 was streaming live. That was the first time we found a live stream, and we fell in love ever since. To the point where we interacted in the chat, made some friends, and then I said, you know what? I think I can do this. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people. Love making friends. Love making enemies. Just interacting, and that's where I started. What 30? Where are we at now? Weekend Wake Up is 37 weeks old now, maybe 38, 37 episodes, anyways. So yeah, that's where it started, and that's where we are now.
And it's that whole part of that YouTube journey has been amazing because, I think for a lot of us over here, being able to, the timing is absolutely perfect for us. The weekend wake up for us on a Saturday afternoon is absolutely spot on, I must admit. And it sort of, it allows us that little opportunity, because I know a lot of people in the US have got shows that go live at 7, 8, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And so for us, that's the middle of the night. And I think that's made you very, very accessible to a lot of people in the UK. And, it actually doesn't seem like 37 shows, I've got to say, because it's been, I think it's an integral part of Saturdays. And it's been a wonderful way to just sort of get to know you, just see how you've developed your own channel as well.
I appreciate that, and no, it really has not felt that long. I'm looking at my list right now. I thought I had marked it, but yeah, 37 episodes coming up, 36, 37. The Tuesday show, Shooting a Breeze, which is another. I don't like to pat myself on the shoulder, but Tuesday, my Tuesday show is my golden nugget. I love my Saturday shows. I love the Weekend Wake Up. That was the first one I actually came up with. You're right. The time frame is great for the UK. It's not the greatest here in the States because I lose the West Coast. The East Coast, it's whoever's up but not out and about because, Saturday morning, you're either grocery shopping, you're heading out somewhere. If it's the summertime, you're heading to the beach. So it's tough. It really is. But people tune in, and I appreciate every single one of them, from one viewer to 20 to now 50 watching on Tuesday. It's been amazing. It really has. It's crazy that, like we just said, numbers that I'm coming up to my 1 year anniversary, and I need to stop planning something for that.
It's crazy how time flies, doesn't it?
It is. Yes.
I can't believe when we started doing this as a podcast, and now we've branched into YouTube. It's just time is flying by. Every time I think, we've got another live show next week, it's just goes from one to the next. It's brilliant.
Definitely is.
And I think as well, though, and I think this possibly is something with anything on YouTube, is if you're going live, you're up against so many other things that will just be either on the television or just general life. Like you said, it's Saturday morning in the US. It's like sort of that trip down for groceries and such like. But we found the same thing. When we've gone live, we've been very much aware that we've been, we've clashed with something big that's on the television. It might be, I think even last week we were watching Mickey Scousers. And their live show on a Wednesday night, but that comes up against a lot of football. It comes up against other things on the TV, and you suddenly become aware that it can be risky, can't it? And
it can, and I've come to learn that even my Saturday morning show, I've come to compete with the UK football. Disney Nerd Herd is a good channel out here in the States. Good friends of ours. He reminds me every time. He's like, Liverpool's playing today. I'm not watching your show. That's fine. I understand. Thanks, buddy. But being a soccer coach, football coach myself, I love watching football. And, I didn't think that through when I said, I'm going to go live Saturdays at 10 a.m. Oh, so I'm going to compete against, Manchester City and Manchester United one day, on a Saturday. So, but it is what it is. Viewers tune in. And again, I have stated this many, many times, and I'll do it here on the podcast. It's not about the numbers for me. It never has been. I've grown steadily and slowly, and I'm fine with that. I am more about the friendships than anything else. If on a Tuesday one person shows up to watch, but 4 or 5 or even, up to 9 now on StreamYard shows up to hang out. That's what's more important to me. Being invited onto this podcast because I've gotten to know all of you. That's more important to me than the 560 subscribers I have. 566, not that I'm counting. But as of this recording, 566, not that I'm counting, but it definitely, when people throw out at me, oh, you're almost at 1,000. I'll get there when I get there, if I get there. That's fine. Come Tuesday, if my American friends are there, come in. I send them out the links and they show up. If, my friends from across the pond show up when I send them the link, that's it. The day is made.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Lloyd, I know you've got a real good line on this, because every time that we start even thinking about numbers, you come back with exactly the same line, isn't it? And it's
not about anybody watching. It's about us getting together and talking. And I've just thought about it in a different way as well. Just Carlos saying, even if one person shows up, imagine if I pulled up a stool in my garage and I'm going to talk for an hour and a half about Disney, and one person turns up to watch me talk. It's one person. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not just talking on my own. Someone's taken the effort to turn up. And then 2. And imagine you're just sitting in front of your house on a lawn chair talking about Disney, and 10 people are there watching you.
Yeah.
And when we think about YouTube, 10's nothing, but it's 10 people that are taking the time to come and watch you and hear what you've got to say and interact and then form these friendships. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're all right. It's not about numbers. It's about what we're doing.
It's you hit the nail on the head there about friendship. I use that word a lot ever since I started this YouTube channel. Well, the YouTube channel was started. Of course, we all start YouTube channels to follow other people. You got to have a YouTube channel to chat or whatnot. So, but my live streams or shows, I started those were to interact with people and make friends. I can honestly say I have not only made friends, I have made chosen family. A lot of us in this Disney community use that term a lot. A lot of us have chosen family. It might come up in this podcast, it might not, but I had a heart attack in July. I had more people from this community reach out to me than my own family.
Yeah,
I've had more people from this community literally call me every day to this day. Now it's every other day, but you know what I mean? Every day he was calling to check on me for a good month, where I heard from, and I know he won't be listening because he just doesn't. He doesn't listen anyway. Is my own brother reached out to my own wife and asked how I was doing once.
Yeah.
Where I have friends, and a lot of them from the UK. 3 of them were from the UK that I can point out real quick, that called me every day, every other day. And I'll bring up his name. This is Jeff from This Our Dreams. Another channel here in the States. Every day he would call me every day for at least a month. And that friendship turned into chosen family. That chosen family are the ones we hung out with on our last holiday, our last trip, which was just, a week ago. We were together. We made sure to be together as family during this trip. And that is so much more important to me than any milestone that YouTube wants to throw at me. Any 1,000 subscriber, any 4,000 watch hours, any monetization that YouTube, wants to throw at me is nothing compared to the friendship and the family we have created through my channel.
You've absolutely nailed it there.
Yeah.
I'm at one of them moments, where you're struggling to speak and you're struggling to actually get a response. but that's what it's about. And it's that passion. It's sharing that passion for a place that we all love, and yet it makes all of us. And you said something about you should never have gone to Disney, and you were looking for something else to do because it was for the kids. And I've shared that with everyone on the podcast before. I took my golf clubs the first time we went to Disney because I was going to play golf. And it's I didn't. I ended up, and it's cost a hell of a lot of money ever since.
It definitely has cost a lot of money ever since, but yeah,
in a good way though, in a good way, and again, that's what this whole thing about podcasting and YouTubing, to actually put yourself amongst people who are like-minded,
yep,
is so special. It really is, and I think we, for
it's
people
not even
this for the first time, it's just like there is a definitive community, and it's it's so supportive.
I was going to go right there. It's like-minded too. It all started with a man who drew a mouse. We all know that.
Yeah.
It all continued with all of us for the love of the mouse, for the love of Disney, for the love of Disney World. But for some of us, and again, and I bring up, and I might bring him up a lot, but Jeff and This Our Dreams, Walt from Mouse Talk, we got together this trip, and a lot of it wasn't about Disney. We were like, I know you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving here, but it was like having Thanksgiving dinner with your family, and you talk about this, you talk about that. The children all got together. My kids met his kids for the first time, all got together and hung out, loved hanging out. Now they exchange numbers. They're on the phones. They're Snapchatting and all this other stuff I know nothing about.
That's not too. Just leave it there.
I still haven't gone into TikTok, and I don't want to. But that's again. It started with a mouse, continued with a mouse, continued to a park, but now it's family. It's you get together, you talk about life and children and futures and past, and not don't get me wrong, Disney came up a lot, but not during certain times. There's certain times you hang out with those friends that again was created by what we're doing here. Maybe not a podcast, but a live stream. Either his channel or my channel. It started somewhere. Well, I know it started again with Resort TV 1. We're all in that chat together, so you get to know this person, that person, but that's where it started. This little thing, to me, this is still little. This little thing of you. Let's get together and stream on YouTube. Let me sit in this chair and do shenanigans on Tuesday. Well, those shenanigans led to I rank, and even my wife, she's putting it real close. She's not over the edge yet. I rank my last trip as the best trip to Disney we've ever had. And we all know Disney's missing a lot. We all know this. It wasn't about Disney that made this trip the greatest trip ever for us. For me, I ranked, out of 12 to 14 trips, we've lost count. I put this one right at the top.
No, that's brilliant. And do you know something? That leads us absolutely seamlessly into the next bit. Because I threw it out there at the very beginning about the fact that you'd just been on holiday.
Yeah.
And I think for everyone in the UK, it's the place, the place we all want to be. We just sort of, in some ways, we just like, it's that inner yearning. Everything we hear about Disney, everything we look at, we know we can't get there at the moment. And do you know something? Your live streams, your actual holiday itself has just served as such a lovely thing for us all to actually absorb from this side of the pond. But also, it's just like, I think we also need to remember you had some very British weather as well while you were there.
Yeah, British summer weather while you were there.
It's that whole thing. You've been to our happy place, and go on. I'm gonna push it across to the other guys as well. What sort of things do you want to ask Carlos? Tell us. We just want to know everything about your trip. Every last detail.
How was the drive? How was the drive down? I know I watched your show before, just to sort of see what your plan was for how to get to Disney.
All right. How much can I give away without giving away some vlogs that are coming out, and without saying go back and watch my live streams? Yeah. No, I'm joking. Again, no. Yeah, I mean, we could start off with the drive. It was The drive was great. Roads were quiet, even though it was for the States the busiest travel day of the year, which is the day before Thanksgiving. It's literally termed the busiest travel day of the year. But again, because of the pandemic, the roads were completely quiet. It was a 20-hour drive. We've taken longer in the past, but I mean the drive. I'm trying to think of how do I put this. I mean the drive was the drive. It was we're all in a hurry to get there. So
did it feel 20 hours, or did it sort of go by relatively quickly?
This trip felt quicker. This drive felt quicker this time because I can't remember the last time we arrived, before 9 a.m. To the resort. The greatest experience, now that I brought that up, the greatest thing about this drive, and you can see it, again, plugging myself, but you can see it live during the drive, the early morning drive. I received a text while we were taking the exit off of I-4. You guys have flown down, so the Magical Express takes that exit, either 66, 67, all the way to 69. Or is it 68? Whatever it is. But we took that exit, and as I was taking the exit, I'm watching the phone. I noticed a text pop up, and it was Disney Resort, your room is ready. After a 20-hour drive to get a text, you're not even on property yet, that your room is ready. You can hear it in my voice. I had never been so ecstatic in my life. It was the greatest feeling after, again, you haven't showered since the day before. You haven't, we were expecting to arrive and be like, go hang out somewhere because your room's not ready until noontime, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., whatever it was, to get a text at 9 a.m. That your room is ready and you're still in that car. Boy, again, you can hear it in my voice, what a feeling that was. But if anybody that doesn't know, we drive a lot. Out of all our trips, we've only flown twice. So it's a drive from Rhode Island. I am from Rhode Island, that little state that you guys can't even see on a map. The name is over the Atlantic Ocean. You think it's an island. Yeah. Literally, it's called Rhode Island. We're not an island. We are, we are part of the country. But yeah, we enjoy it. It's part of the family experience.
I see you in a Chevy Chase station wagon.
Station wagon,
down with the family.
It's close. It is an SUV. It's an extended SUV, so it could pass for a Chevy Chase.
No wood paneling on the side.
No wood. No. But every once in a while, there is a Christmas tree on top.
Go on, Becca.
It was your first time blogging and live streaming drive down there. How did you find that?
Becca, it was actually my first time to Disney as a YouTuber. So it was the first time for everything that had to do with vlogging and streaming. I have said this many times on streams for anybody listening in that, have watched my streams, and for the ones that haven't, I don't like to vlog. And I'm not trying to be rude about it. I just don't. I love the live interaction. I am uncomfortable filming myself and filming other things because I don't like to be perfect, but I don't like to look awful, if that makes any sense. So I'm uncomfortable vlogging, but I did it because I made promises that I would, not to myself, but people have asked, the Kershaws, Gaz and Anch, make sure you vlog it. Sure. I'll record stuff. But, I put out my first vlog already and I literally put it out on Twitter. Watch it. It's not perfect, but this is the best you're going to get from me. I am not, live streams or not, or vlogs. I am not ashamed to say, hey, there's a thumbs down option. If you want to click it. That's fine. I don't care. Thumbs up, thumbs down. That's fine. One, it tells me you were watching. So that's a plus. You were watching. You didn't like it. That's fine. There's 100 million things that I don't like. That we're all, God's people. That's fine. It's your God-given right. But yeah, the experience to record in Disney was fantastic. to know, I mean, you could hear it in the streams. I was so thrilled to be able to stream in Disney, but not, and again, not to sound rude, and I hope it doesn't come out this way, but I didn't do it more for the viewers. I did it more for the memories, for myself and my family. It's YouTube. This will all stay saved on YouTube, I hope. It's all going to be there where my son, who's 8 years old, in 20 years, 30 years, he wants to bring it to his son to watch, or even his grandchild, and say, hey, this was, grandpa's or dad's 4th or 5th visit, and your grandfather, great-grandfather decided he's going to record and here there's some videos that I can't put out because I just don't have anything to vlog it with. It's just simple things, but my son let out some words I don't think he should have been on stream. So, it'll all be saved for him. That's, the main reason why I did it. Just like recording my daughter's soccer games her senior year. It wasn't because, I wanted to, for some people, the 10 people that tuned in, and thank you to those 10 people, to watch the soccer games or watch her play. It was her senior year, her last year of school. This is going to be saved on there where, again, you want to, her children are playing soccer. This is how mom played her last year. Dad recorded it. So that was this trip. The great thing about being a YouTuber for this trip was be able to save it all. Granted, I could have filmed it and saved it on my phone, and I get it. We have the cloud, so it'll always be saved. But, the phone breaks, maybe I didn't back it up. It's all gone. Somebody steals my phone. Where's all the pictures? If it's not backed up, it's all gone. It's on YouTube, and I didn't go nowhere. So it's saved.
How did you find the technical side of it? As in, like, did you use data or Wi-Fi or?
Well, you want to get into that? Sure.
Because after that, we've tried it at Disneyland Paris, and it's interesting. I've got quite a good data plan that I use more than Disneyland Paris Wi-Fi because it was rubbish.
Disney World's Wi-Fi is pretty good. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's pretty good. But of course, it's not perfect. So you catch yourself using data. The issue with us was we don't have an unlimited. Well, we do now. Let me give that away. We do now. We didn't have an unlimited plan. We had 35 gigabytes. The plan starts on the 9th of the month. So what I did was I shut my daughter off, who is the main user of data, the 17-year-old. I shut her off on the 9th. So between my wife and I, we used 4 gigabytes before our trip, left us 31. Yeah. Actually, we have carryover. It left us about 36. Because I remember correctly, it was 36 gigabytes. I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect for this trip. By day 4, I was getting notifications I had gone 90% of my data. So you either upgrade to unlimited, or you stop paying $15 American for every gigabyte they add over.
Whoa!
So here comes it's not nasty, but here comes the great thing. It's 5:30 a.m. I am sitting in the bathroom, and there's only one place to sit in the bathroom. So yes, I am sitting there on my royal throne. And I'm getting a notification, and I am on the app through AT&T trying to upgrade to unlimited data. That's what I was doing at 5:30 in the morning on the 4th or 5th day, but whatever it was, of our trip. Yes, upgrading to unlimited. That all being said, let me get to your question. There is spots you'd have to go on and off, unless you have unlimited data. Go with your service. AT&T is great, and again, it depends on your service too. I hear T-Mobile is great. Sprint is awful. Verizon not the greatest inside Disney. T-Mobile is really good. What I've seen from other streamers, what they use, like Resort TV One uses T-Mobile, and my AT&T worked very well. But if you can use Wi-Fi, this Wi-Fi you can use on a lot of rides inside the park that you can stream from or vlog from. But yeah, I don't recommend you not going without unlimited because you'll be done.
It's so easy to do.
You'll be done. I was done in 3 days.
In February, I've got 100 gig data, and I think was it 4-day trip, 3 or 4 day trip, and I'd gone through 60 gig. And this wasn't live streaming. This was just I was filming in 4K,
This
and
was just backing it all up.
it was just uploading to the cloud.
I think I would easily got through 60 this trip.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it looked like it was an average of 4 gigabytes per stream. And I was going, the main streams, the streams in the parks, the morning one that I was doing, the coffee chat, even that was using 1.5. So yeah, I was going through 6 a day almost.
Yeah.
Crazy. And now I am paying, you guys, the check you're sending me over for this podcast will cover this month's bill. Joking, I don't get paid for anything.
Neither do we. Just like
John's like, Lloyd's sending the check? What?
yeah. I
It's budget holder.
can't remember the last check I wrote.
Sitting on my throne in Golden Oaks here. Pretending I'm in the UK.
It's that wallpaper, isn't it? Like that's what
It's the
it is.
wallpaper. That gave it away.
In the wallpaper, you could be anywhere in the world. That's
Yeah, I've got a pool. Just out this window, there's a swimming pool. It's actually it's 4 in the afternoon, or just coming up to 4 o'clock.
You just got the blackout curtains down.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. None of you have ever caught on.
So, Carlos, tell us the bit that we all want to know. What was the in-park experience like? What was it like to actually just arrive into park, and what difference was it from before? Because I think that's the whole thing that probably fills a lot of us with sort of apprehension.
Yeah. I'm going to use the term. It's not a term. I'm going to say what I said on my stream is there was no difference. There was absolutely no difference at all. I started this way. I highly recommend if you can get to Disney, go. Don't be scared. Fear will kill you before this pandemic will.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate using that term because we've lost close friends to this pandemic. So, but I do throw that out there. Fear will kill you. I highly recommend you go because there was no difference. We walked in, and I'm not going to deny that I did not shed a tear. The eyes were watery for the simple reason of my wife and I did not believe that we were back. But not back because, there's a pandemic. I can't believe we're back. Just in general, that, it's a gift to be able to go to Disney once a year. It's a gift to be able to go to Disney, period. So it's a bigger gift to be able to go once a year. So when that time comes for us, the countdown gets shorter. We start acting like children. You get excited. So yeah, when we walk in when you get off the rail and you walk down that hill, it's the same thing as the first time to the 8th time to the 12th time. Pandemic, no pandemic. The experience, Disney is Disney. Disney will always be there for you. Disney will always be there. Now, was it different because we had masks on? Sure. I went grocery shopping this morning. It's different from 9 months ago in a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's of course it's different, but it's a mask. We've all gotten used to wearing masks. It's been 9 months, folks. You're used to wearing a mask. So that being said, we talked about the weather. Did it help that the highest it was 80 a couple of days, but comfortable 80? Yes. Did it help even more that the rest of the trip was 72, 73? Again, American temperature. In a couple of days where it barely got up to 58. Yeah, of course that helped with the mask.
Yeah.
But in general, you forget that mask is on. You're in Disney. You're going on that ride. You're going into that restaurant. You're seeing that cavalcade / it's really a parade just cut in half, cut into pieces. It is a parade, folks. Do I agree with what Disney's doing with these cavalcades? Because people are still lining up on the streets. People are getting tight, close to each other. If that's the case, just have the parade. That's a whole different thing, but if you want to get into. But, nothing was different. That's the simple answer. Nothing was different. Not to us. We were just happy to be there. Though again, the walk-in was the same. The photos, besides the mask being in the photos, were the same. We stopped to take them. The photo pass people are there to take your picture. My wife and I, every trip, take the same photo sitting in front of the partner channel. I'm sorry, partner statue. The same photo. Me and her sit right there in the middle. We buy frames for all our photos. We take the same one. It's there. We sat down. People take our picture. We asked other people to take photos. Use my phone. Nobody was afraid to touch anything. And I am going to say this. Not once, not one time that it crossed my mind, I don't want to stand here. I don't want to walk there. I don't want to be next to these people. Not once. Not once. It was a regular Disney day. You forget. I did. I forgot about the pandemic. Yeah. Again, some people you're walking into a grocery store and it's like, there's 3 people in that aisle. I'll come back. Not in Disney. That never crossed any of our minds. They're trying really hard with the social distance, the 6-foot marks in line. There is a million of them. We saw them all. Did I try to obey them the best I could? Yes. And you can see in streams, I didn't do my greatest because, I was getting up on people. Were people getting up on us? Yes. Was it uncomfortable? It was not uncomfortable because eventually we would spread out. People would be like, oh, I shouldn't be standing here. So, that little bit, all right. You can live with that. But
I actually think, Carlos, that's a really, really good point. Because it's human nature, isn't it? And I know we've spoken on the previous podcast and certainly amongst ourselves about some of the photographs when the parks reopened, and there was certain channels that were, certain news channels or whatever, trying to just go out and take a photograph of a queue and say, well, Disney are not doing this, and actually it's wrong because actually it's human nature to actually be the way you are. And I'm intrigued as to you're aware of it, you knew in your own stream and you corrected it, and I think that to me really sort of hits home more than anything else.
Everybody, again, when I said you forget the pandemic, you don't forget the pandemic, but your mind, and I'm sure it happens to everybody, I know it happens to us, and everybody that goes to Disney uses this term. You forget about life when you're in Disney. You forget about your bill. You forget about your bills. You forget about anything that was wrong back home because you're in Disney. That's why it's why it's there. It's to be a child, to be an adult, but forget about everything that's wrong with this world and enjoy yourself. Well, even during the pandemic, we did that. Every once in a while, you are reminded that, you shouldn't be standing that close to that person. There's many stickers to remind you of for that. You forget.
Does that include your wife and kids?
I'm sorry?
You don't have to stand so close to your wife and kids.
No, I try not to do that, here or there. No.
Push on the other side of the party and go do your own thing.
Yeah.
2 meters away.
Yeah.
It's, the children are the hardest, the real young ones, because they don't, I don't want to say they don't know better, but they forget quickly. So you tell them, don't stand there. My son, I'm using my son as a perfect example. You tell him not to stand there, not to touch the railings. We try again, you forget that the pandemic's going on, but you're reminded quickly. So, Disney Springs, you're going down the escalator. You try to remind your son, don't put your hand on the rails. He'll put them on the rails. We're like, all right, here's some sanitizer, take care of yourself. And that's another term another thing I say a lot to people, Disney or no Disney. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're doing it correctly, or at least to the best of your ability. Wash your hands every time, as much as you can. Sanitize. Come off a ride, throw some sanitizer on. Or every couple of rides. You don't have to put it on. That's my belief. You don't have to put it on every time. But every couple of rides, put some sanitizer on. Go wash your hands. You ate. Go bathroom. We're taught. I'm sorry, folks. We were taught this at the age of 1. You go to the bathroom, you wash your hands. You go eat, you wash your hands. We didn't need a pandemic to tell us to wash your hands. That being said, you remind the children. The children forget a lot. Shoot, the adults forget. Again, I forgot a lot of things while we were there. It's like, maybe it was 5 or 6 rides, and I said, I haven't put sanitizer on in a while. Give me some. Let me, and God knows we carried a lot of sanitizer with us. We took a lot down. We had a suitcase alone for, safety purposes.
It's the only way to carry alcohol into Disney, isn't it?
It is. and not pay the $9.
I ain't paid $8 for a Bud Light. I'm going to take in a little sanitizer, pour a bit of vodka on my hand.
I paid it, right? That's not a bit. You know what?
That's a good idea.
We'll see.
If the pandemic's still on next year,
forget the pandemic, man. Just to bring in alcohol, we're like, I'm still nervous. Pandemic is gone. 2 years down the road. Yeah. What's on your hands? It's alcohol.
Why are you licking? I've got to sanitize my tongue.
Why are you licking your hands? Why are you looking? Why are you watching me? I don't know.
I have to admit, I think we've been very lucky this year that we've managed to go to Disney both without a pandemic and during a pandemic. So we were very lucky in August. So we got to experience what Disneyland Paris was like. Right. And like you said, Carlos, about Florida, it feels the same. We did burst into tears as soon as we walked into studios and just hearing the welcome back music.
Which, if you've ever been to studios, you'll know it's a really weird thing to do.
It's a bit like a quarter of Hollywood studios, just lots more building work. That a minute.
It's a mixture of Hollywood studios and Epcot, I suppose.
Yeah.
With the building work.
Disneyland Paris lacks that emotional attachment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I bang about emotional attachment all the time, but I've got to admit though, Carlos, your words as to going back into the parks, I think for all of us now, we would feel exactly the same way. And I think that tearful sort of experience, because we've been denied the opportunity to even go there. But I think for everyone listening, it's just going to be exactly the same thing. Once we actually get back into the park, I think everybody's just going to stand there, just going to look down Main Street and just sort of, I don't know.
I think
complete tears.
I think it's, I know it's different for all of you that can't get here. It's going to be a different feeling. I totally agree with that. I know it is. But for us, just, to answer that question you asked before, it was nothing different because, when was the last time you guys were here? Back in February?
November for us.
So it was November. Right? So it's been a year. Okay. Yeah. It's been a year. So it's the same for us. A year, 18 months when we go. So for us, it was just that feeling of we're back. We're back. But for you guys, I understand it's going to be different because, yes, you've been told you can't come here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are told, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I will be. I think once you get that notification from Joe Biden saying, "Hey, you find folks from the UK, come by, borders are open," I think you're going to break out into tears there at home.
Yeah. Do you know what? We've got
that trip that I booked. You might have a trip booked already, but you're not guaranteed anything. You know that. You're not. You don't know when you're guaranteed to come over. So your trip might be. Our dates are planned for next year. We know we can go next year. So it's like, all right, countdown begins. You might have a countdown of 100 days. But you don't know if you're coming in those 100 days. But let's say on January 20th, Joe Biden takes over and says borders are open. Vaccines are working, borders are open.
I'd agree with that.
You're gonna have that emotion from home. Yeah. You're gonna have those visual effects in your mind of walking down Main Street from home. Can you imagine when you get here? It's gonna be an explosion.
2 weeks of crying.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't.
The other side there, though, Carlos, and I'm gonna say this before anybody else simply because I don't have a trip booked, and I know everybody else from who's with me tonight, they do. And actually, I think you've hit the nail on the head. And I think for all of those times where we've been denied the opportunity to go across to the States, it's been as a mental experience more than anything else. It's been so trying because I know Lloyd and Ben and Becca have all had trips cancelled throughout 2020, and I think that pays its own price amongst your own sort of family experience and your whole experience of life. And that whole bit about Biden actually opening the borders again, I think for you guys, I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's just that unlocking of the key. It just
that'll be the moment.
That door will be unlocked. We can go as soon as we've even said that. As soon as that borders are open, we're going to look at flights if we can, because we've got Walt Disney World annual passes. We've always thought, could we go earlier than what our current plan is?
No, because we can't get off on holiday.
That's true.
Unfortunately, there's this lovely little thing called work.
Yeah, that's the only downside. But
what is that? Is that something out in the UK? Oh, work. Oh,
Work.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, it's the weekend, so I seem to forget as soon as I push on Friday what that is.
But yeah, I think we've got a trip booked for end of April, and every time that we've looked at anything that, whether it's to do with Biden opening or vaccines, but also even looking into details of where we want to eat, where we're staying, all of that, I'm getting more emotional about that, and it's just those little bits, and you think it's just on the horizon. It's not going to be long. We've waited this long. We waited over a year.
Yeah,
we can wait a little bit longer. We've had 2 cancelled trips this year. We know what that's like. If we have to do that for the next one, yes, it's going to hurt, but we've been through it.
I'm going with third time lucky.
Yep.
It just
see what happens.
You know what? It just makes it so much better when the day comes.
Yeah,
we're not going to want to come home.
The cancellations, and I hope a third one doesn't happen for you guys. But the cancellations, it just builds up the hype for when it really happens.
Yeah.
Because you've been torn down twice, maybe a third time. But when the key is turned and the door is open, it's it's going to be worth it, because it's going to be to me it would be a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Because you've waited this long, you've been told no, and now it's like I'm told yes. Now it's my turn.
Carlos, is that why this trip was the best, or is that part of why this trip was the best, or what were the factors that made this one the top one?
What made this one the top one was literally the friends, because we do the same thing every Disney trip, where we don't change anything. We tend to eat at the same locations. Actually, we tried a couple of new places this trip, but we do everything the same. We're morning till night. Well, we try to do morning till night at the parks. Everything's the same. What made this trip so much better was I got to meet a lot of great people from this community. That was a plus. A lot of YouTubers, Disney YouTubers that we got to meet in person. People we've known for a year and a half now on stream, but finally got to. I'm one of those. I'm a handshake guy. I'm a gentleman. I want to. And even now during the pandemic, my first question to anybody I ran into was, "I'm sanitized. Can I shake your hands? Do you mind a handshake?" Only one person gave me a fist bump. Said, didn't open his hand. No problem, but still, the pleasure of meeting that person, taking some photos. I took photos with all of them. But that was just a little bit that made it the best. What made it really the best, again, was this our dreams. And that is 3 words, because I know out of my mouth it doesn't sound like it. It's the New England accent. DIS, our dream. Mouse Talk. It's Joey's World. Those channels, we got to hang out. Those are the family channels. Those are the chosen family. They made this trip the number 1 trip. And it wasn't because we did anything different besides hanging out at one of the houses for some hours. We ordered pizza, and again, it was a family trip. They were the extended family that we didn't know about, that, we knew about it in our minds, but until I gave Jeff and his family a hug, until the kids hung out together the way they did, my wife, getting along so well with their wives and the guys. That made it. And we've gone with family. We've taken my in-laws for their first trip, and we thought that was such a great trip, and it was. My children's, each one of them, because I have 4 children, 2 from a previous marriage. So each time they all went for the first time, that was an amazing trip. This one is just a tier higher because of the help from those friends.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with rides, even though saw Galaxy's Edge for the first time. I don't know when you want to get into that, but
Oh yeah, go on.
You know, I guess that helps
I've seen the short that you've actually just put out on YouTube as well, because that's the little short.
The little short, the one I just
liking that.
I got a story about that short too. But you know, to make what made this trip was just the company. That's how I should put it. The company made this trip that much better. Yeah,
that's amazing. I think we're going to start to experience that as well. We're getting, you know, yourself, Carlos, but other sort of YouTubers, bloggers, podcasters, people we've interviewed, and people being quite forthcoming with. Look us up when you get over to Florida, you know, or if they're living in a different part of the country, if we're there, we'll have a beer, and you know, it's that will take it to a different level, because you're sharing the experience when you're there, and you're there together, and you know. So
it was, again, we met, and he promoted myself again, but there's a vlog coming out of that too. Of everybody we met, everybody we met. But you have those that you just meet. You know, again, I told everybody I wanted to meet. I messaged them and says, "Listen, I just want a quick photo." I did a lot of selfies with these people. A quick photo, a handshake. I don't want to take your time, because I know, you know, you have your plans. And with this, a promise I made to my wife because of YouTube, a promise I made to my wife was I would not turn this trip into a Disney World freak trip. This trip, or any trip from here on out, will never be Carlos Disney World freak looking for content. Carlos Disney World freak wanting to stream. I will never go to Florida because I want to go stream something. I will never go to Florida because I want to go vlog something. I will go to Florida because I want to go to Disney. While I'm there, I will do certain things. I will vlog. I will stream. So I made that promise to her, and I kept that promise. But again, you met the ones that was the handshake, the photo, they moved on. Those were great. But there is the ones I keep repeating of, those that we hung out. Jeff, and I bring up Jeff a lot. You might want to start editing some of Jeff's name out. But Jeff, we arrived. You're talking about the arrival. We arrived. I dropped the family off. I literally, and it was a little joke between Jeff and I, but he's like, "Well, why don't you come over first thing to my house and come get all the crap that I have here for you?" Because, you know, he's like, the kid's sleeping on the couch because, you know, his bed's full of your stuff. It wasn't that much. It really was. It was a bag. It was 2 bags full of sippers and popcorn buckets and other stuff that he had for me. That's, you know, the enabler there. But he was me and Michaela, my daughter, we went for that drive. We went to his house, and he was on the porch, and it was like a bear hug from somebody you think you've known forever, or your brother you haven't seen in so long. That's what the feeling was between us. That next morning, he was at my resort waiting to go to the park with us, waiting to hang out. Text me in the morning, you know, give me your room number. I'll meet you there. We'll take the Skyliner, which was the first time for the Skyliner for us too. Hey. You know, we'll take the Skyliner over at Epcot. I'm like, you know, he was ready to come hang out. The family was ready to hang out. Out of 8 days at the park, we hung out 6 of them together. And as much as we wanted to hang out with them, they wanted to hang out with us too. We wanted to be together. No, the 2 days we didn't hang out in the parks, we hung out either at his house, you know, for pizza and the family, and it was a great time, or we did something else together. We went to Give Kids the World, which I'd like to talk about too.
That looks amazing.
Yeah,
no, just tell us, because again, it's something that from this side of the world.
Yeah,
we're not sort of completely understanding of it, and it just looks incredible.
Yeah, so to lead into that, Give Kids the World is a development, well, what I call development, of many homes and other buildings where children, dying or not, last wishes or not, because they don't have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I was about to say terminal. Thank you. They don't have to be terminal. Make-A-Wish uses them. That's where if you go through Make-A-Wish, that's where you stay at Give Kids the World. We have family friends who have stayed there. Again, not terminal, autistic. She had a wish granted, and she wants to go to Disney World, and that's where they stood. So that's what it is. But this year, because of the pandemic, they are closed, so no wishes are granted. What they did was they reached out to some for some sponsorships and whatnot, and some lights were donated. Disney donated 3.5 million or 3.8 million lights. Is it the Osborne lights? Yeah. You're laughing, but yeah, it is. Some of them
Is
are.
it? Wow.
There's
Really?
some of the lights from let me rephrase this, not the special ones like the carousel that was on top of the building. The string lights itself are the lights they used during the Osborne lights.
Wow.
They really are. So they've already admitted to that.
So Disney have still got them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
the
that's
lights.
Is that Disney doing a Jeff though? Get this crap out of my garage. It is 1,000 boxes of lights.
It's a lot of lights, but a lot of them, all the lights were donated. I have a lot of photos that I want to put out. My wife has a lot of photos that she wants to put out. But they decorated 90% of the village. 90% of it.
Yeah.
That's what it is, a village. I don't know what I called it before, but development. It's a village. They decorated 90% of the village with these lights. And let me tell you, they're beautiful. It's a beautiful setup they have. Free ice cream, free cocoa. You can buy food while you're there. And it's all a walk-in. You walk through all these streets, because it's all streets, and you just walk through and check everything out. But they're doing it again because there ain't as many funds coming in. So to make sure they can keep everything going, they decided to do this. It's $25 for adults, $15 for children. Again, I believe it's 90. They threw numbers out there, and you can Google it. I believe it's 93% of the proceeds go into the village. So wherever the other 7% goes, I don't care. I mean, 93% is still a great number.
Yeah.
It all goes back to Give Kids the World. I personally have been a donor to Give Kids the World now for a year. I'm on the monthly payment program, whatever it is. One, because of the family friend that's been there. Two, I am very big into charity for children. Not that adults don't deserve charity. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to children, we have one here called the Jimmy Fund. It's for cancer research here in Boston. I donate to that every year. But Give Kids the World and autism. I'm a big proprietor of autism. Anything to do with autism, so I donate a lot to that. But Give Kids the World. It was special. It was special to see. It was the best. What was it? $100 we spent.
Yeah.
Knowing where it was going. But again, the friends that we hung out with, there was a lot of us that went that night. A lot of us close, from this Disney community. We all went there. What a great time. I don't know when this is going to air. It might be over by then, but even when it is done, we plan on doing this our next trip. You can donate time. You can donate an hour of your time during your trip. That's all they ask. If you're going to donate, it's just an hour, and go volunteer. My daughter, I know she wants to. My wife wants to. I want to, but I am a very emotional person. I really am. I might not act like it on stream, but I am. When it comes to children, I don't think I could volunteer and see some of those children. I don't think I could. I keep taking my wallet. Here's the wallet. I rather do that. But if you're not like me and you can, please go volunteer an hour. They have this train room. I don't have a video, but I know somebody that does. I gotta get it. It's called it's the train room. What a train setup they have in there with buttons. You press buttons and certain things move and go. If you can go donate the money, go volunteer time.
And I'd also put in there as well, Carlos. I know we've mentioned Resort TV 1 a number of times already tonight. I think a couple of nights ago they did a live stream from there.
Yeah.
But as a fundraiser, and I think even in a couple of days, they've now raised, I think it was $17,000 through their channel, which I think is an incredible thing to be able to do.
Yes, Resort TV 1 did raise $17,000 through their show. A lot of channels are doing it right now because of what Give Kids the World are doing it. A lot of friends are doing it. I have a plan, an idea in mind that I'd love to do. And get a lot of people involved, you guys, yourselves included. But this, the channel Dis and That, DISNTHAT, which is 4 good friends of mine. They have a channel together. They're doing an auction right now. I think the auction's open till early January or maybe late December. They're doing an auction for that. There's Dinners with Donna, which is Donna Jaworski. She did a cookie stream from home where she baked cookies. She has a show every 2 weeks, cooking from the house. She raised over $10,000 on a cookie stream. People are generous when it's for a good cause. It is. I want to help out. Besides donating, I want to try to raise some money myself. So we're going to try to put something together. But there's a lot of channels out there. But yes, Resort TV won 17 grand, Donna 10 grand.
Yeah.
This and That will do 10 easy with the auction. Excuse me. So yeah, donate. Go check out the website. Give Kids the World. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah. It's just when you watch it from afar, and you just look in, and just the enormity of it, and just the sheer wonderment of it. It's incredible, and I think for a lot of us who can't get there, I think what we will do is to try to put some sort of links within anything that we put across with the show of how people from the UK can actually help out and donate as well. We'd be delighted to do that. That
would be great. Yeah, you guys have seen the photo, the aerial shot that's on Facebook. I know my wife shared it. I shared it. I didn't believe how big it was walking. Yeah. I know we walked a lot, but it's like, we walked a lot. You walk a lot in Disney. Then you see the photo. It's like, I looked at my wife. I said, did we even see those houses? She's like, no, we walked it all. She's like, I know, I got the blisters to prove it. But it is. But just think of this. Put this in your mind for 2 seconds. You're seeing that photo because of the lights. Remember, in 6 months, that's all going to be full with children, terminal and not, that had a wish to go to Disney or Universal or SeaWorld. And thanks to Give Kids the World, they have a place to stay. All the food is included. All the transportation is included. They're like villas. They're single villa, 2-bedroom villas, 3-bedroom villas, something like that. Full kitchen, full baths, living area. It is $6,400 to grant one wish. That's what it takes. That's the number that Give Kids the World is given to everybody. It is $6,400 to grant one wish. So look at the aspect of that photo and all those villas that are there. I'm not sure the exact number that it holds at one time, but you can see the immense of that picture, what it can hold. And it's not just the child, it's the family. You're a family of 4, you're a family of 6. It's the family's being treated the same. To keep that in mind when it comes time to donate, if you want to donate. Or I know the colors are beautiful, the lights are beautiful, and I hate saying it this way, but I said it there to one of the few of the workers where I hope to God these lights are gone in a couple of months. For the simple reason of wishes will be granted again.
Yeah.
You know, not to be rude and be like, oh, get these lights out of here because I love Christmas lights. But just for that reason that you know wishes will be granted once those lights are gone.
I think that's just such a wonderful point. For anyone in the UK who hasn't seen any of this, just have a look online and have a real good look. And then you begin to understand just what Carlos has actually said there, the amount of children involved in this. It's I was going to say it's heartbreaking. It's actually not, because it's such a positive experience for each child.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah,
it's a lovely cause. I'm going to be a little bit selfish here as well. I'm really intrigued to travel to Galaxy's Edge, if we may, for a little bit.
Galaxy's Edge. You want to know? You want my take on Galaxy's Edge? Well, it was my first time seeing it in person. I love Star Wars, always have. Not a fan of Clone Wars, the movie, but that was probably the only one. That and Solo. But my experience with Galaxy's Edge is this: is it an amazing sight? Yes. I expected, being the fan that I am, I expected to get goosebumps walking in. I expected to maybe even shed a tear. My family did. My family, I still can hear them in the back of my mind saying, my wife saying, let Daddy go first. Let him take it in, because, you know, they don't care about Star Wars. Let Daddy take it in. The detail is there. It's a beautiful place. I don't like to use the word beautiful for Galaxy's Edge, but it's a beautiful place. The detail is immense. It's spot on. The Millennium Falcon. Oh my God. I mean, it's a wow. It's a wow. Seeing the Millennium Falcon in person is a wow. That all being said, after an hour, I was ready to go on Slinky Dog. It didn't, in general, it did not wow me to the point where I says, I'm going to stay here, because I had told the wife and the children and everybody that was going to hang out with us, you know, I'm going to go to Galaxy's Edge for 3, 4, 5 hours. I'm going to go vlog. I'm going to go stream. I'm going to go eat Ronto wraps and drink blue milk and do all of this, and leave me the heck alone. You guys go enjoy Hollywood Studios. Yeah, after an hour, I was ready to leave. Not ready to leave, but I didn't need to stay in there.
Do you think, Carlos, it's because it's Batuu and it's not Mos Eisley, it's not Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's evaporator farm, it's not something I've got an emotional attachment to or a memory of, it's just amazingly created Black Spire Outpost in Batuu, which I've not known before you've released this new attraction?
Right.
Do you think it's along those lines?
You're the third person to ask me that. Maybe. I don't know. Because, you know, I wish there was something to, you know, to compare it to. You know, I what we know is what we walk into Galaxy's Edge. And I get it. We didn't know about it until it was built. But maybe if it was more from New Hope and all of that and knowing it more, it's possible. I can say that. I don't know for sure. I'm going to give you the same answer I gave the other 2 times. I don't know for sure. I really don't. It's just, it didn't wow me. It wowed me, but it didn't, not to the point where, and I have friends who have stayed there for hours and didn't want to leave and still do. They go there and just for Galaxy's Edge. And I'm talking just the land. We haven't even gotten to the rides yet. I'm to all the restaurants. I'm talking just the land, just walking around the land. The sounds are great. The detail was great to see. I can get up and go get it. It was great to see the droids. It was great to see, you know, again, the Millennium Falcon. Nothing beats seeing a Millennium Falcon. It was awesome, to use that word. The TIE Fighter, Kylo Ren ship was amazing to see. Seeing Kylo Ren interacting with my son was fun. It was cool. The Stormtroopers, Chewbacca, it was all nice to see. Is it something that I would spend 3-4 hours in? No, not me. It just didn't do it for me. The land in itself. The rides now. You want to get into the rides now? Now let's go to the restaurants. Well, not all of them, because I didn't get to try the blue milk. I guess because of not wanting to spend more time in there, I didn't find the time to go have the blue milk.
I wouldn't say you're missing much, to be honest.
I've heard, but you're in Galaxy's Edge. You got to try the blue milk. Instead, I ran to go buy
thermal detonator. I bet it's a thermal detonator.
Yeah, you know what? Isn't it? I know we're not. You know what? We're not live, so I can carry you over. Yeah. So I went. You know, I don't drink soda anymore. I used to drink 3 liters of soda a day. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, ever since the heart attack, I haven't had a cup. And I've lost a lot of weight too. But so I bought it because I had to have it. My wife drank it. I'm like, here, drink it. Oh, pour it out. I don't care. I gotta have it. That and the bottle, the water bottle. Just because it has their writing on it and whatnot. Yeah. I paid $6 for a water bottle. Don't let Disney Dan know. And just because he's right there, I might as well show you too. I built the droid. But yeah, we didn't try the blue milk, but you're there, so I wanted to try the blue milk. I didn't try it. What I did have was the Ronto wrap. Oh my God. I wanted more. We had 2 days at Hollywood Studios. The second day, it was closed. I couldn't have a Ronto wrap. So I have to savor that taste I still have from the first time. I'll tell you, if you want to ask me anything upsetting about this trip, I mean, there was a couple of things. That was one of them. Not being able to have another Ronto wrap.
Did you have the breakfast one or the normal one?
I had the normal one. I had
breakfast one's really nice as well.
I've heard. Yeah.
I tried the breakfast one.
Well, the lunch one was oh my God. That's all I can say was, oh my God, I need another one. I meant to have 2 of them that day, but my wife's like, really gonna need another one now? We're gonna have dinner later. Okay, fine, dear. Thank you. But yeah, that is all I had there was the Ronto wrap, and again, the detonator in the water. I did not go into help me out. Right.
Otis Cantina.
Thank you. You know what? I don't even. I'm going to embarrass myself right now, and this is a shame because I might have it on stream. I might have walked by it. I don't even know where it was. I didn't go looking for it. I don't even know where it was. The shops, unfortunately, we didn't get to go into shops either because there was just such a line. There was such a line just to get into the alley where the shops are. We couldn't get in. Well, no, we couldn't get in. I didn't want to spend a half hour, 45 minutes waiting to go see shops. I didn't. But Ronto wrap. Yeah, I'll probably have 5 or 6 next trip. Just that one day, just to make sure I get enough in for the in case we don't get back. But the rides. Let's get into the rides because that is what Galaxy's Edge is all about. I don't care. Don't let anybody fool you. Smuggler's Run. We'll start with that one. Smuggler's Run. And to lead into that, I don't do well on Star Tours. Okay? I get very nauseous on Star Tours. So I've had concerns about Smuggler's Run. We rode it twice, one each day. The first day, I was a pilot going into light speed. You know what child doesn't want to pull that lever and jump into light speed?
And go, yee-hoo!
Right? It was. My daughter was the other pilot. It was a fun experience without being fun because we both sucked as pilots. So it wasn't the greatest flight. My son was behind me screaming and pushing buttons and he had enjoy. My wife, on the other hand, I can still see it from the corner of my eye because I looked over a couple of times. She had her right arm over the seat in front of her because she couldn't hold her balance in her seat. She was about to fall over and pushing a button because she was a gunner with the other one. But she can't do those virtual rides either. So she was literally covering her eyes. She had one eye open and one touching the button. And every once in a while, she said she would glance at me and then close her eye because she didn't want to see. But yeah, being a pilot in a million $1,000,000, it's a great ride. It's a great ride. It really is. It's a fun ride. The second time we rode it, I was a gunner. I ended up streaming it. I actually streamed the ride. Ethan, my 8-year-old, was the pilot on the left side, and Michaela was on the right side so she can jump on a light speed. Yeah. The the right way to experience that ride is with people that know what they're doing, I think.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, because I think also the way we rode it, which we crashed into everything and we just sucked. Okay. I think it's just as fun.
I'm glad Disney don't record what happens when you're, because imagine if they had that on playback on like your photo pass, so you could watch back how bad you were.
Well,
yeah,
thank God I have one of them on stream, because it was really bad. It was really bad. Go watch it, and I'm yelling at the kids and everything. But we've seen other streamers. It's a great ride. It's a fun interaction, but it's more fun interacting with the people in that car.
Yeah.
I was gonna call it a car. Especially now, it's all family. You only get to go in with family, so that's even better. So we've seen other streamers do it with their families of 6. You know, you're having that fun with, and I bring up Jeff a lot. He streamed it where he's yelling at his kid because his kid's crashing and everything, but you're having fun yelling at him. You're streaming, you're pressing buttons, you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's a great time. That was the greatest. I think that was better for me. As much as I love the light speed, to me, that was the only fun part of the first day was jumping into light speed. I got to, pull that lever. That was awesome. But the second day was more fun watching Ethan laughing and not knowing what he was doing, literally going into walls. You're supposed to be going after the train. The train was a half a mile to the left, taking the exit, and my son and my daughter wanted to go up a hill to, I don't know where, order a Ronto wrap at the drive-thru.
Sounds a bit like us last year.
I think that was more fun, and having it all on recorded is even better. But again, Millennium Falcon was great. The animatronic of and again, names escape me. What's his name?
Hondo.
Yes, great animatronic. I think that is 10 times better than what everybody loves. The one at Animal Kingdom, the one in Pandora, inside the river.
Journey.
Yeah. Everybody loves that one. Yeah. You know what? No. See you later. And one, I hate that ride. You know what? I should have used that ride. Let's go back. Rewind. Go back to the beginning. A ride I hate. I do actually hate that ride. It's pointless to be there. Waste of money. But great animatronic. So that's Smuggler's Run. That's what I got to say about that. Now, Rise of the Resistance. I look. Remember I said something about Goosebumps? The podcast can't see it. I get it when I say the name. Rise of the Resistance is the greatest thing Disney has ever come up with. Ever. Forget Flight of Passage and Ben and Becca, you know about me at Splash Mountain. Forget Splash Mountain. Still don't turn it into Princess and the Frog, leave it at Splash Mountain, but forget Splash Mountain. It is the greatest ride, attraction, whatever you want to call it. It's the greatest thing Disney has ever come up with. I haven't been to Universal in 15 years. I've seen streams, I've seen vlogs, I've seen everything. It's the greatest thing in Florida right now.
Well, Universal got Fast and Furious, like Carlos.
Right. They also have E.T. I already go on E.T. I remember E.T. That's all I remember from Universal.
I think E.T. is better than Fast and Furious.
Right. Rise. There's no words that can describe Rise, my opinion. And because I'm not good with words in general, but I can't even come up with anything because there's just nothing to say. In the first time I got to ride it 3 times this trip, twice in a half hour.
Oh, no.
And I'll lead into that in a second, but let's finish the ride. The first time we did not get to go into the transport. I guess it was down. So has any of you been on Rise?
No, I've watched a few.
No. Have you at least watched the stream then? Am I ruining anything? Okay. No. So you know the main thing, and you saw my short this morning. The main thing is the interrogation room. Yeah. Okay. So you normally come out of the transporter, and that's where you open up to. Well, the first time we rode, we went through a side door, and I looked at my wife and said, something's not right. And I could hear that room. She's like, oh, they weren't going to change it because of for any reason. They're not going to change it. I said, yeah, well, something's not right. We didn't get to go through that car that you didn't want to ride, the transporter, because she was afraid it was going to mess with her stomach and her mind. And I can hear it. I'm like, listen, and we walked in. That ruined it for me that first time. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't.
Well, there's your setup gone, isn't it? There's your immersion.
Right. It's like I get to go through a door, like my house, except it's made out of steel. I walk into a little hallway, and now we're in that room. It's not as fun as coming out of the transporter. But that room, this again, no words in that room. The sounds you hear in that room, you can see it from the short. Just the TIE fighter being up top, the stormtroopers, and then the ride itself. I was like a child, and my wife even laughed. And my wife laughed at me. I thought she was laughing at the ride. She told me after, she's like, I was laughing at you. You look like a 2-year-old. When you get into the room with the AT-ATs, okay, AT-AT, whichever way you want to call it. We had the front row. I literally started banging on the rail that you're supposed to hold on to. I was jumping in my seat, literally like this. Nobody can see it because we're in podcasting. I feel like I'm talking to a blind guy. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm literally bouncing in my seat and I'm tapping on the rail because it's like, oh my God, look what we're seeing. Look, it's the AT-ATs. It's. I love the Millennium Falcon, but the AT-AT is my favorite Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, toy, anything, is the AT-AT. So seeing those two enormous life-size, they got to be life-size. Like I've been to, like I've been up there to know what a real size of an AT-AT is. Yeah. But to see though, oh my God, I screamed. I was bouncing in my seat. I saw her laughing. I'm like, what is she laughing at? I don't know what she's laughing at. Maybe the kid said something. No, she was laughing at me. That's fine. The goosebumps through the whole ride, the elevator ride up till you get. Unfortunately, every time we rode it, we went through the side elevator. So you saw the side view. I wanted to get the front view of the AT-AT. I think I would have cried like a baby. I think I would have. The screens that you see everything out in space, every room, the room with the guns going off, the drop, it's everything. It's everything. I wish I can get my wife on stream. My wife is not a Star Wars fan. She watched 3 movies because I didn't want to go alone. The last 3, she went with me. I cracked a joke. And if she'll listen to this podcast, I'll get yelled at again because I've been getting yelled at a lot for it. I cracked a joke that the only reason she knows Kylo Ren is because we named the cat Kylo Ren. And then she says, I'm the one that named him Kylo Ren because he's all black. Yeah, you're right. You named it. But she's not a Star Wars person. She came off the ride as soon as we got outside and said the same thing. That is the greatest ride Disney has. That is from a person that has watched 3 lousy Star Wars movies. Not lousy, whatever. 3 out of how many that she has watched. That is the same person. My battery's dying. The same person that again doesn't. We walk into Galaxy's Edge. Is like, all right, this is nice. Can I go ride Slinky with the kids? Came off of that ride and said, "This is the greatest ride Disney's ever." I again, the privilege I had. Well, my son and I had to ride it 3 times. The girls twice, and I also had, and you can see it on stream. I had the privilege. I thought it was a half hour to be stuck in the interrogation room for 52 minutes streaming because it broke down.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. I'm like, well, I'm not. My wife's like, are you ending the stream? I'm like, I ain't ending nothing until they tell me to leave. Yeah. Oh, I'm not even ending that, but they're like, should we leave? She's like, no, everybody started sitting down. I'm like, oh no, we're sitting. We got lucky. If you go see it in the stream, we got lucky. One of the ride cars is set up in that room. So she ended up sitting on it. I ended up sitting in it and I'm streaming. I'm just holding the camera there, sitting on the floor, bouncing up and down. It was, but what room to get stuck on? I thought it was a half hour. I went and literally looked earlier today to go see the gap. It was 52 minutes of sitting in that room with that sound just going. just the sound of the TIE fighters flying by.
Yeah.
Trying to see exactly how many stormtroopers are in there, about 40 something. How many actually move? What moves on each one? I had 2 of them behind me. There's 2 stormtroopers that stand right next to the ride, literally right there. I'm just pointing the camera. What an experience. And I guess I got to thank my daughter. My daughter was feeling whatever. It's a pot. My daughter had to go to the bathroom. So she couldn't hold it anymore. She's like, I need to leave. So I'm like, well, whatever. Mom says I'm going to go with her. So they talk to a cast member, and the cast member says, well, go to the bathroom. When you guys come back through the fast pass lines, which are still there. The lines are still there in the entrances. Yeah. Come back to the fast pass, and you can ride it. I'm like, okay, me and Ethan are going on. We're riding this. I got lucky. When we ended the ride, came off, went into Galaxy's Edge, my wife is walking with my daughter. I'm like, oh, did you guys what are you doing? She's like, oh, no, we're going back now. I said, really? Okay. Yeah. I'll bring you to the cast member. So we go to the cast member, and I literally just told her, I says, oh, yeah, she wasn't feeling good. She had to go to the bathroom. I used the word, and I made sure I said, we were told to come back through the fast pass. Oh, sure, no problem. I remember the girls. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh, the girls. And he's like, all right, walk by. And, Ethan, little kid, he's like, all right, he starts walking first. I'm like, Daddy's going to. Again, all of this on stream. I'm like, we had just gotten off. We're getting right back on into Galaxy's Edge. I'm like, into Rise. And we actually get to ride the transport twice during that too. So we finally got to ride the transport. But yes, to be able to ride it twice in a half hour, 3 times in the trip, where some people don't even get to ride one because of the boarding pass. Yeah. Which I'll lead into that if you guys don't mind. Just put your hand up. Tell me to stop.
We need as many tips as possible.
I was going to ask you about
the boarding pass. Boarding pass was simple. I found it simple. My wife and I both had our phones out with my Disney experience. I was outside in the rain because I had better service. Do not use Wi-Fi. Use your data. Find the most bars you can get. And it's 2 clicks. It's 7 a.m. Click 1. It shows your boarding, the people in your party, and then click again and a couple of circles, and hopefully you get something. We had 46 on one day, 22 the next. So
awesome. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was. We had friends there who were staying at the same resort, and they're texting me like, "What'd you get?" I'm like, "Well, 22." He's like, "We didn't get anything." So it is the luck of the draw. It really is. And we got lucky, but it is a simple task. Boarding groups are simple. I think Disney should use it more often.
Yeah. I'm glad they've changed it so you don't have to be in the park.
Right. I think they did that. I think they did that so people are not gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like first thing in the morning at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's just not going to work.
I mean, people are still gathering, but we're all gathering outside of resort rooms. Yeah. It's funny. We stood at Pop Century. If you guys know Pop Century, just like any resort, you have a row of doors outside, and 5 of 7. You start looking around. It's like there's 4 over there. There's 3 out there. There's like there's 1 at the bench, and what we're all doing. All of a sudden, it's like we're not all standing out here because we want to see the temperature outside. Everybody's trying to get a boarding group. You look up on the rails, it's like everybody's outside trying to get a boarding group. It was funny.
Half from a cheering, half from a crying.
Yeah, exactly. I look at I did. I looked at the guy on the bench. He's like, "What'd you get?" I'm like 22. He's like, 50 something. I'm like, "Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. You're on. You'll get in." Well, I don't know about the last day because 22 we didn't board. We didn't stop. They didn't stop boarding until 1 p.m. that last day. I was concerned that we weren't going to get in. Yeah. I thought it was going to be down forever. And we ended up riding it twice. No, I'm sorry.
I've just got this vision in my head now of sort of all these people stood outside at 7 a.m. in the morning just trying to snatch either Wi-Fi or data sort of coming through the air. If my phone's higher than anyone else's, right? Quicker than anybody, it's just like
my wife has isn't it? My wife has a photo of me the first Hollywood Studios day. I found a spot just down a few doors from ours that had an extra bar of data on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to stand here. She's outside the door, but she's got a photo of me. It looks like I'm praying. I'm holding the phone at my my waist, and I'm looking up to the sky, and it looks like I'm praying. I got my coffee on the ground, my hand in hand. It does look like I'm praying for a boarding pass. I don't know what I was looking up. Maybe I don't know, plane going by or something. But no, Galaxy's Edge. Wow. Yeah.
It's a good thing. The amount of effort and the amount of sort of from Imagineering that's gone into it. It would be amazing to what they can use that technology and apply it to other things as well.
I agree, but it scares me because I don't think I want anything better than Rise of the Resistance. Mickey and Minnie's Railway was a great ride too. Yeah. Another great ride if you haven't done it yet. It's another ride too that can play with your. Believe it or not, it can play with your stomach. There's a part when it's. I'm sure you've seen it on stream, so if you've ridden it,
yeah, I think another one you're talking about. Yeah.
When you fall off the cliff in the water. We rode it literally 4 times the first day, and like another 3 times the second. On that first day, I was already woozy, and you could hear it on stream. I had done Tower of Terror with the daughter, so I already wasn't. That ride always gets to me, but I do it for her. So I was already. I gave the gimbal to my 8-year-old. I said, "Here, stream. Dad's got to go to the bathroom. I'm not feeling good." But by the third time on Mickey Railway, when we got to that screen, everything spun on me. I said, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to." So even the next day, it was like, "Yeah, I can't. I don't want to watch." I closed my eyes on that part.
I think it's funny you say Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because I see Rise of the Resistance as the new great movie ride. It's putting you in the movie more than anything else, really. It puts you right in the centre of it. You feel immersed. And what Ben was saying there about using that sort of technology for other attractions, I think with some of the intellectual properties Disney has these days, rather than just having an Iron Man themed roller coaster or this and that themed, it can actually put you into a scene in the movie. And Rise of the Resistance is just a perfect example of that. And I think it'd be quite exciting just to see what they've got, especially with the Star Wars universe that Disney now has and the whole Marvel universe that it has. It can put us into some really exciting places in some really immersive ways as well. And I'm still touchy about Great Movie Ride going.
We definitely agree on that, Lloyd. I will take the Great Movie Ride over Minnie's Railway anytime. Yeah. I would.
Imagine Rise of the Resistance technology. So I'm thinking Great Movie Ride now. Imagine going through that through the Nostromo in that ceiling from Alien, but with the immersion and the technology of Rise of the Resistance. How terrifying that would be, but how amazing as well. Disney probably haven't got they haven't got the rights probably for Alien or something like that now. But some of the Disney movies just.
But even there was a sequence through the movie ride as well. When you first saw that, and you just thought how improbable it was, way back in the 80s, to be just sort of within a ride vehicle and actually experiencing yourself being within the Wizard of Oz. It was totally bizarre, wasn't it? And like now we're on to totally being in the actual film and then properly in the film.
Yeah. And who, I forget who it was. Was it Lou Mongello or was it Jack Kendall we were talking to, where they said Rise of the Resistance, amazing ride, but when you land in that escape pod, you're still in the ride because the story of the ride's taken you from that Star Destroyer back to Batuu, where you're with the rebels again, and in reality you're walking back out into Batuu as well. So it's kind of playing with your head a little bit. It's like the ride hasn't really ended.
Yeah.
My wife forgot about that drop. Out of all the streams we've seen, she forgot about that drop. It is a drop. When that drop happened, I wish I was recording at the time. The words that came up, it was not a family-friendly park at the time. But I agree. To use that technology on, I'm not a Marvel person. Don't kill me now. Don't throw me off the podcast. I've only watched 7 Marvel movies because I've been forced to, or challenged to by other channels. But is there really anything else besides Star Wars that Disney could put a ride like that together? I've seen Iron Man and stuff like that, but think about it. I mean, it's Star Wars. It's space. It's there's so much of it. Is there a Marvel movie that they could put that technology into? Is there
I'm trying to think of how big a story.
Is there I was gonna say a cartoon. Is there a oh my god, again words.
Animation
movie. Thank you. An animation movie that they could put you through with that technology. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's anything out there that would compete with Star Wars for a ride in that fashion. Even animation. The only animation I could think of would be maybe Monsters Inc. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though, Carlos.
I think that would suit more of a roller coaster than a.
Right, if anything, but that's what I'm saying. Just because of the movement, you're changing rooms, you're changing this. Maybe Monsters Inc. But again, even a Marvel movie.
The whole Star Wars thing though has now become multi-generational from 1977, from when the first film came out. So you're now actually immersing probably grandfathers.
Yes,
went to see the first film. Do you know what I mean?
That's well put. You're all right. You are
really
there.
It's something that you're looking at becoming immersive for the child, but for the teenager, for those in the 20s. But then you're looking at for older people, and it is truly Star Wars just transcends so much. And I've got to say, I was never. I've got to say, put my hands up, not a big Star Wars fan, but I've gone back and with my youngest lad, we went and during lockdown earlier this year, we watched the whole lot, and it's just like we can't wait to go and see it. Your description, you mentioned about your goosebumps about it. Your actual description of it was giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, me too.
It really was. I was just like.
I was trying to show you. It still happens. It was that
for the first time in my life.
It was that great of an attraction. And to touch on your point about the generations, my father passed away 19 years ago, but I still remember watching Star Wars films with him at home. I was born in '77, so Star Wars came out. My brother saw it at theaters with my father. My father would love these new movies. My father would love this ride. The idea of it. I don't think my father would ever get on any ride, but the idea of it. Just like my son, who is 8, my 20-year-old, they all enjoy Star Wars. Where, again, Marvel, with Iron Man, my father would be like, "What the heck is this?" Even I am still like, I'm not into Marvel. I'm not into Iron Man. So even I would be like, "Sure, I'll go ride it because it's Disney and I'll go ride it." But maybe my kids would like it a little more than what I would because of the generation gap. Where Star Wars, that was my thing. That was my father's thing.
Yeah,
and it's still my children's thing.
Do you think Marvel will be like that in like 30 years' time?
I think Marvel will be that way in years to come, but I think and I'm making myself a lot older, but I think for a 50-year-old right now, Marvel is just not a thing. Star Wars still is for them.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Yep. I'm gonna go because I am that 50-year-old.
Well, I'm not. I mean, like I said, 77. I'm 43.
I'll tell you the one as well, Carlos. You'll need to listen to our January show because I've already thought of a New Year's resolution for next year, and I'm going to keep it a secret. I'm going to keep it a secret from everyone else until that show.
Sounds good.
But it's Marvel related. But I'm gonna ask just the guys who are above me on the screen. Have you got anything else, particularly in a view to your future trips that are incoming in 2021? Have you got anything else that you want to ask Carlos?
Don't think so.
No, but if you're out there, we'd love to meet up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I have intentions.
If you're in Rhode Island, when I'm in Boston next time, because I need a trip to Boston because my dad lives there. But yeah, I'll be in touch.
Sounds good. Dougie's on his way in May. So we're gonna meet up in Boston area.
Excellent.
Yeah, but
That sounds
I know you guys don't have any questions right now for your 2021 trip, but let me just touch too on my past trip was somebody asked me, was there any negatives? I will throw out there is a couple of negatives. Resort cleaning is only being done. Resort room cleaning is only being done every 2 days. I am one of those. I love because you can opt out of housekeeping.
Yeah.
I have never opted out and never will. I am one of those. I love to come back to my room being tidied up. Right now, they're only switching towels and doing a light cleaning. I didn't appreciate that. That's a negative. The other negative is be prepared because it still might happen in 2021 is a lot of restaurants are still closed. A lot of restaurants are closed. So this might be some out there that you really enjoy and miss that are not open. That and we're not a big fireworks person in parades, so we didn't miss that. But character meet and greets we missed. So unfortunate, those were gone. We got to take selfies with some of them in the cavalcades, and some of the Muppets were back in Liberty Square. They were in their window, so that was fun to watch. But
that's quite ironic, really, isn't it? You know,
the first ones to get laid off are the ones that are still there.
Yeah, and I just the irony of the whole part of the Muppets being there and socially distanced because they're up in a building, and yet those guys were slated to be sacked before the pandemic even arrived.
Right.
We were talking about that back in January, weren't we?
Yeah.
That's just like that. Do you know, that just really, it sort of puts that there. What was, you talk about food options, and I think this is something again for the audience in the UK. I know restaurants haven't opened, but those that have, I know obviously have got different menus. How did you find that?
Well, again, with children, very picky eating children, we tend to visit McDonald's while we're in Disney, which I hate, but we always like to make sure the children are eating, enough. I didn't mind the Q code maps. Listen to me, menus. There was no paper menu, so I didn't mind the Q code one.
Yeah.
Smaller menus bothered me a little bit because there's certain things I enjoyed eating in the past that just wasn't there. That being said, the options were still, even though minimum, decent. They didn't take a lot of the good stuff away. You just wish because there's so many good restaurants closed, you kind of wish the ones that are open would leave their full menu.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, the pandemic has not. You still have the 50 people working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
There's no reason to cut back 5 things from the menu when you still have the same amount of people working.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I get why the buffets are closed. Which is too bad because we enjoy the buffets a lot.
Yeah, I can understand that part of it.
Yeah. I think more should go to the family style that some have, like Chef Mickey. We had Chef Mickey. We haven't had Chef Mickey in, Ethan. Yeah, Ethan was born. So Ethan's 8. So 5 years, 4 trips ago, his first trip. We went to Chef Mickey. Bad experience. It was our first time and our last in a while. we went this time because it was only $25 for an adult. So we said, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. What a turnaround.
Yeah.
What a turnaround. I would have went every day of our trip. That's how good the food was. The food, yeah. And we both times we did breakfast. So it's only open for breakfast now, but I'm saying last trip was breakfast. The food came out fresh and hot. I'm sure everything that came out was there at the buffet, but there was just something different about it when they placed it on the table on those metal skillets. and everything was hot. Everything was fresh. We had the charcuterie. I'm saying that wrong. The board with the cheese and the hams. What do you call those things?
Charcuterie.
Thank you. There you go. They're like, wow, why did we have this guy on? He can't even think of words. You start off with that. They brought like 4 or 5 of them to the table. They're little ones, but spread out. Thankfully, only me, Jeff, and his wife ate from that, so we brought them all to our side. But all you can eat. You just kept asking, and they keep bringing pastries, fresh pastry, croissants, danishes. Fruit bowls. We had a ton of fruit bowls. The girls were enjoying the fruit. And all you can drink, juice and coffee. And again, there was the full menu where you can get your Bloody Mary or whatever you wanted from. But there was something different. And our waitress was very good. Very good. Not as bad as the first time we went, but she wasn't the greatest. We had better at different restaurants this trip, but she was good. She deserved. I gave a cast compliment. I do that to as many as I can. So she deserved one. She was that good. But there was something different about it that just said, I'd love to have this again this trip or next trip, even though the characters are coming back and it's going to be $60 again in January, which I will not pay. It's not worth the $60. It's worth the $25.
Thing, Carlos, though.
What is it? I'm sorry.
I think that's massive. Is the cost differential? Yeah. With the limited menu within character dining places has actually encouraged people to go and explore places. And I must admit, I'm one, because I had a similar experience in Chef Mickey's, and I would probably never go back and pay $60 for the most rubbish breakfast known to mankind.
Yep.
But the way that you're actually talking about it at $20, $25, whatever, with the food brought fresh to the table, actually just goes back to those real sort of proper, the proper experience that you want from Disney, and probably the ones that, from a dining point of view, that they set their stall out years ago as being such an important part of what they delivered to all of the guests.
Another thing too, you got to think with that is they're charging you almost $40 a person.
Yeah.
To see characters. It's sad that Disney charges that much for characters.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're paying $60 for an adult, where now you're paying $25.
Absolutely.
And it is a huge jump.
Do you know what? I'd pay an extra $10 or maybe $15.
Yeah.
But when it's getting to like nearly double, I can eat twice there.
You're paying for your time, aren't you? Because you can see the characters, not all, but you can see most of the characters in the park for free. But it's going to take your time to queue up. So you're paying $30, $40 to save yourself X amount of time. And so it's kind of, it's still not right, is it?
That's fine, but at least give me the same amount of time that you do at a meet and greet.
Yeah.
If you've been to some of them, some of those restaurants with characters, they rush right away from your table real quick.
Yeah.
So it's is it worth it? That and if that's the case, then at least feed me well. Chef Mickey breakfast is not good food. Well, the buffet wasn't.
No, it was dreadful.
Right. So take my money. That's fine, but at least give me something in return. Feed me well.
If you go to Garden Grill, you can't get rid of the characters.
And the food is great.
Yeah, you try not to look at them in the face as they're walking past, otherwise they won't leave you alone.
Right.
So I was going to go back to what you mentioned about Kate May, during the carousel of questions as well, because Kate May at the Beach Club, the breakfast there has characters who are very, very good, and you are indulged mightily, I must admit. For evening meal, there's no characters, but the food is absolutely amazing. And I've got to say, so I wouldn't mind paying for the evening meal even without characters. But it's that difference between how can one place on the property manage to get the character interaction right, the food right, and put on a most amazing sort of experience, and yet you go to Chef Mickey's, and apart from the view of the monorail going through every couple of minutes, it's not great. It really isn't.
I think it's because with Chef Mickey being so popular, they're always in a rush to get you in and get you in.
Yeah.
So the faster they cook to feed you, the faster you leave.
Yeah,
they're not taking their time. Where Kate May, we've done breakfast for Kate May as well.
Yeah,
you have more time to eat. You're not being rushed out of there because it's not being filled up as much as Chef Mickey is.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And yes, for dinner I will pay that plus more. I always have.
It's amazing. I've got to say, it's a beautiful.
And I'm in New England. We're in seafood capital.
I knew that.
Shower coming out your faucets, haven't you?
Listen, I can't show you not because it's dark, but you can look down the street and the ocean's right there from where I am. So we get seafood right off the boat. I mean, literally, we go to the boats to buy seafood where I am. So, and I still enjoy seafood in Disney. Not all of it, but some of it.
You know, as Carlos said, if you go to Chef Mickey, the demand is huge, so they are going to bump up the price. If you seek out places such as the Wave, they do tend to price it accordingly, and I think that's where you can actually make really good use if you're paying out of pocket, and I think that's a really, really good way of making your dollars on holiday last that little bit more, isn't it?
Right.
And I really do feel that for those who haven't met you through your YouTube channel, I'm stealing something that's on your Twitter description, and I've got to say it resonates massively with me. And I put it as a quote. Your description on Twitter is everything Disney, soccer coach, love for my family, my children are my life. And do you know something? There's something absolutely amazing about that, and it really does resonate massively certainly with me. I know it will do with a lot of our listeners, because your family and your kids are what you do an awful lot of your life for, and that's been the biggest part of getting to know you tonight. Has been amazing, and I've not asked you loads of questions about soccer either.
We can do another one.
That's another show we can do.
That's another podcast. We can do that. But thank you for that, John. My family, even though Disney's pretty close. No, I'm joking. Family's always been everything. I brought up the heart attack. It was, even though my wife says it was just a mild one. I don't understand that, but I love my wife. The insurance plan is paid for. It was an awakening. As mild as it was, you start thinking more of your children, and my wife too, but not as much as the children. She knows I love her to death. She's been my everything. She's been my rock, my blanket, my tissue, my cry rag, whatever I can say a lot of things about my wife, but I have joked around in this way, and she knows wives come and go, or can come and go. Okay. She is my second one, so I have proof of that. Your children are your children forever. Your children are your blood. They are your children. So, it was an awakening to make sure I live a better life for them. That's why I stopped drinking soda. That's why we try to plan more things together, more trips together, do what they want during the summertime. You just brought up soccer. I've coached my daughter since she was 4 years old. She's 17 now, leaving high school. It's all about family. But for me, it's more importantly all about my children.
Yeah. And you've very beautifully brought that all together. It's your family, which you remain personal and remain completely under your roof. You've got your Disney family that you've shared amazingly with us tonight. I can't. I struggle for words. It's just sort of how amazing this whole community has become. And I'm going to wrap us all up because I've got to say, Carlos, Coach Esteves, Disney World freak, just thank you for joining us tonight. It's been amazing to chat to you. I know all of our listeners will want to follow you and enjoy the content that you produce. So where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, it's first, let me again say that it's been a pleasure to be on. I was, ecstatic when Ben sent me the invite and asked me if I wanted to come on. This has been fun, and there's a lot more we can talk about. So yes, look out for part 2.
Definitely.
I'm inviting myself back. Look out for part 2.
Most people generally do, though, Carlos. That's the nice thing about us.
Yeah, I love what I've done. I love meeting all of you, everybody from across the pond, and everybody locally. But thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. This has been fun. You can find me at Disney_World_freak. I'm sorry I made that so hard for everybody with the underscores. On YouTube, also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page with the same name. Twitter is Coach Esteves because that page started. You could type in Disney_World_freak and I'll pop up. But yes, it's at Coach Esteves. Where's it, Coach Carlos? I don't even know. Is it?
I think it's Esteves.
It is. My last name is Coach Esteves. That tells you how much I've looked at it.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram too at Disney_World_freak. Posting a lot of pictures. It was an 88-day countdown to the last trip. So I might start another one to the next trip because I got plenty of photos from this one to be posting. But yeah, you can find me all there. I appreciate anybody that comes in. I don't ask anybody to subscribe because I am not a sub for sub. I want to throw that out there. I am not a sub for sub channel. I hate's a strong word, but I don't like sub for sub channels. I try not to interact with them. And when I say I try not to, because some people have made mistakes in the past and they have fixed themselves. So I do interact with people that have done sub for sub, but that's not what I am. So I don't ask people to subscribe to me. I ask them to come take a look, check out my material, my vlogs, my videos, my live streams. Come see who my friends are that I hang out with. And it's your God-given right to make your own decision because it is you that will be watching. But if you do subscribe, I appreciate it. But I ask of one thing: subscribe, but come hang out, come watch. It's. I don't want the number. I want the friendship and interaction. So that's me. I'm again not a sub for sub, but if you do sub, I'd love to see you in my chat. I'd love to have you on my Saturday show if you're an upcoming channel or any channel. 10,000 subscribers, sure, I'll interview you too. Even though people already know you. But and on Tuesdays, yes, I hang out with friends. I've done the British Invasion. And then part 2 of that's coming up in 3, 4, 5, and 6 because I love my my British following because I have a big. I get thrown at me a lot. Like you have a lot of British following. Well, and I'm thankful for that. You guys are great.
And you've put a lot of effort into that, and I think that's another thing I think we alluded to earlier in the show. I'm gonna give you a quote back. It's just come into my head here, and it's just like, this is me being me. It's just the way I am.
Yep.
And actually, it comes from a Saw Doctor song. It comes from Ireland, but it sums you up to an absolute T. It really does, and we love it. We love everything that you're producing. We really want to support as much as we can. Everything that you're putting out there. And I'm just going to say a big thank you to all of our listeners for listening to us waffle. You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GB Mickey Waffle, and our YouTube channel, The Great British Mickey Waffle. And you can also get in touch with us by email at themickeywaffle@gmail.com. If you're listening for the first time, hit that good old subscribe button on your podcast app so you don't miss out on any of the fun coming up. And for anyone who's listening, not linked to the podcast, or to the live shows that we've been producing on Facebook and YouTube, go and have a look. The shows are there on all our channels. And 4 shows in, we're actually really delighted that we've actually managed to get some new listeners and viewers joining us every month. And as we draw a line on 2020, stay safe, look after those that you love, and really do believe in the magic. Our Disney dreams will come true. Until the next time, waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.